What is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to another That's the Shoot. We had one earlier, now we have one now. This is the prediction show. If you guys remember the last time I did a prediction show, I said that what I was going to do was I was going to do it in, well, wait a minute. Well, what I said was that if there was a show going to be on Saturday, then I would do it Friday evening. And that's what we have here. We have Clash at the Castle in Cardiff tomorrow afternoon. So this is Friday night, and this is a special episode of That's the Shoot, my predictions episode. Well, not only would I be doing the predictions for Clash Casper tomorrow, but I would also be doing the predictions for NXT Worlds Collide that happens Sunday at 4 Eastern, 3 Central Time. And guess what? We're gonna start with that. The Sunday NXT Worlds Collides. Let's go. So NXT Worlds Collide. NXT UK is shutting down. They're going to expand it to NXT Europe today. Actually, Triple H said that they wanted to do NXT Europe, back in 2020, but the pandemic happened, so they had to, just keep it the way it was. But that's what they're going to now. And what they're going to do is they're also going to go and merge some of the championships and make one into one NXT. So that's great. I love that. And so let's get started. Is it a fatal 4-way for the NXT Tag Team Championships? It's Gallus from UK, Pretty Deadly, who's from the UK. They've been in the NXT for a few months now. The Creed brothers, who are the NXT Tag Champions, and Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen, who are the NXT UK Tag Champions. So, and what we have, and I don't know a lot about Gallus. I saw him this past week on NXT, Pretty Deadly. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. See, I think there are some total up in the air things. You don't know who they're going to want to give the championship to. I like Brooks and Jensen. I just love what they do. I love the fact that one of them is a and one of them is a second generation star. I love the fact that I love the thing they've gotten away from the Virgin storyline, and then I did this kick ass bruises and brawlers. I love that. The Creed brothers I also love. They're the technical guys, suplexes and things like that. They're Pretty Deli. They're the the androgynous characters, and they got another one that's coming up where there's somebody named and he's like the diva, and I don't know what they're gonna do. And like I said, I just saw Gallus this first week, so I'm going right off the top here about who is going to be the champion, and I'm just gonna go with what I think is probably what they want to go with, and I think they probably want to go with the Creed brothers. So I'm going to say the Creed brothers. They're still doing that storyline, maybe with Roderick Strong. So I think the Creed brothers will win and become the undisputed NXT Tag Team Champions. There are no NXT UK Women's Tag Championships to come over, so they just decided, hey, let's go ahead and let's do this. Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, you're going to get to face Nikki Ash and Doudrop, two women who were at least Doudrop was a part of the NXT UK. Nikki Ash, I don't think so. I don't think she was part of this NXT, and she was called up, during that period a few years back when the McMahons all came out on the stage. I think that's what they did. So, um, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what goes on here. I think this is easily a win for Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. I think Nikki Ash and Doudrop are going to be the champions on the main roster one day. But yeah, so I think this one is easy. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter retain the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Yeah, so also I don't believe there is a secondary championship in NXT UK as well. So they decided to say, hey, well, bring Ricochet to NXT and have him face Carmelo Hayes for the North American Championship, which would make him a two-time holder of that, and it would be, hold on, sorry. It would make him be a two-time NXT North American Championship. But again, I don't think this isn't. I don't think Ricochet has any shot of winning this. Just like Nikki and Doudrop don't have a shot to winning the the NXT Women's Tag Championship. This is just put on the show here to steal the show. This is what this is gonna do. This is just on here to steal the show. Try to get 5 stars from all of the people, including myself, and just say, "Wow, isn't that one of the great matches in NXT history?" I think that's what this is about. So Carmelo Hayes retains the NXT North American Championship, and it could be one of the best matches of this entire weekend, and that's including Clash at the Castle and also the AEW pay-per-view All Out. If I've been a little bit distracted the first 3 predictions, it's because I was checking on the final match of Serena Williams' career. Apparently, she lost in 3 sets. There was a back and forth at that final point. Uh, the lady, her name is Isla. She just she was every time she get the match point, Serena would come back, but she was down 5-1. So, but she finally got it, and Isla beat Serena. Serena is probably not gonna play tennis anymore, but a weird thing it is. So, good luck to the greatest of all time, Serena Williams. I had her. I think I had her in the top 5, maybe top 7. No less than 7 of the greatest athletes of all time. If you go check my top 10 playlist, and you can see the top 10 athletes in sports history, Serena Williams is on that list. Because for what she's done in the world of tennis, for all she's done, I've been on First Take. There's been debates about her and whether or not she's like and between Skip, no, calling him Skip, no, between Stephen A. and between Mad Dog, they be kind of talking about is she the GOAT or not, and Mad Dog kind of thinks that it's not her. She's in the conversation, with Navratilova and Steffi Graf and Chris Evert. Uh, and and Stephen A. thinks it's Serena. And listen, there's a little bias there as well because of the blackness. You have to acknowledge that. Um, but I think I think that's just looking at it as judgment. I understand Mad Dog's point, but I think Serena having 23 Grand Slams is probably the greatest tennis player of all time, and that's just not just not female, just tennis player of all time. And like I said, she's on my list of the greatest athletes of all time. So if you want to check that out, go to my top 10 list. I may even put it up in here somewhere so that you can click it on the iCard. But let's get back to why we're here, and that's wrestling. Sunday evening, the Worlds, or Sunday, yeah, Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, I guess you could call it. I guess it's gonna start at 4 Eastern. The NXT Worlds Collide pay-per-view for the NXT and NXT UK Women's Championships Unified. NXT champion Mandy Rose takes on NXT UK champion Meiko Satomura and the #1 contender for the NXT UK Championship, Blair Davenport, who is the also B Priestley on the Indies. So again, here I have a personal favorite. Just like with the tag team, I love Brooks and Jensen. I love Mandy Rose. I love what she's done. She's become really good, I think, in the ring, and she's got the perfect character for her that she can play the men come to see me and women want to be me type of thing. She's perfect in that role. So there's a part of me that says, well, Mandy Rose wins, and then you just they already brought up Toxic Attraction to the main roster. Now you just bring up Toxic Attraction to, Mandy Rose lose to Texas, to the Toxic Attraction. But I also think that if she's gonna lose, she needs to lose to someone who you see in the future. Now that being said, they don't call Michael Satomura the final boss for nothing. They don't call her that for nothing. So she could be the true final boss. And that person that you want Randy Rose to beat, she now has to beat Miko Satomura, Michael, whatever. And then there's Blair Davenport again. She's B Priestley. I haven't seen a lot of her. I don't watch a lot of NXT. I don't know what she's there for. But to me, I do think that it just now makes sense to probably, they've already brought up Toxic Attraction. Gigi Dolan got hurt, unfortunately, so they can continue. Just go ahead and let's bring up Mandy Rose as well. They've been talking about her going back up to the main roster. I think this is the perfect time to do it. So I'm not gonna. So I would love Mandy Rose to hang on to the championship. I don't think that's going to be, but uh, be able to do that. So now it's either Satomura or Davenport, and I think it would be a shock to sort of bring over Blair Davenport and have her win, championship. But to me, I think this goes for the final boss. I think Miko Satomura wins this. I think she'll probably beat Mandy Rose, and then they can then Michael and Blair could have their one-on-one match that they should have had at another time. So I'll say the new NXT Unified Women's Champion is going to be Michael Satomura. And for the NXT Ununified NXT Championships, the NXT champion Braun Breaker takes on the NXT UK champion Tyler Bate. Ironically, these guys are probably around the same age. They really are, because I think Tyler Bate was 19 when he first won the championship, first ever NXT UK championship. So I think he's 19, so he's probably around, that would make him probably around 24, 25, which I think was what Braun Breaker is. So excuse me for a minute. So yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. I think Braun Breaker gets this one. I think this one, it'll be a good match, but yeah, it's time for, again, we're talking about someone with someone who you're gonna beat. The next person who beats Braun Breaker is gonna be a made man, and I'm not saying that just because it could be Tony D'Angelo. No, it's um, going to be a made man. So I think that it could be very well, you know, someone like Carmelo Hayes or someone like um, Grayson Waller, someone like that. So I think Braun Breaker wins and becomes the undisputed unified NXT champion. And now to Saturday, WWE Clash at the Castle. We're starting off with Edge and Rey Mysterio taking on the Judgment Day. But on Monday night, it sure did seem like that they were setting up Dominic to turn on Edge and Ray and join the Judgment Day. He's so entranced with Rhea and everything that she has. So who knows what it could be? Who knows what they're going to do? But for me, uh, I'm going to say the Judgment Day, because really Edge and Dominic, not Edge and Dominic, Ray and Dominic pretty much had Judgment Day's number all the time, at least in tag matches. So now we're going to have Edge and Ray versus the Judgment Day. I do see Dominic do turning. I think that's either one or two things will happen. Either one, Dominic is going to turn, or he's going to fake a turn. He's actually going to give Rhea Ripley her just desserts. So that would be interesting to see. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to choose the Judgment Day as the victor. For the Intercontinental Championship, Gunther versus Sheamus. Oh, this is going to be the slobber knocker of all slobber knockers. Sheamus' chest is going to be blood red after the end of that match. Gunther doing all of the chops. But it is going to be a fantastic showing, I think, from these two. These two are going to beat the living hell out of each other, and we're going to love it. But I don't think, even though Sheamus wants to be Intercontinental Champion, I don't think they're going to take it off Gunther right now. I think they're going to, um, I think they're going to keep it on Gunther for the time being, because after the Intercontinental title, he has to go into the main event picture, and I don't think he's that ready just yet. So I'm going to say Gunther retains the Intercontinental Championship. How about this one? They took it up a notch on Monday night, didn't they? Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins. Your wife divorced you and took the kids away from you. They didn't want to be close to your bitch ass. Wow. What'd you say, bro? I'll fuck you up, bro. Really? Okay, let's do this. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna. I think Seth Rollins has been the best. This one is very tough because Seth Rollins has lost a whole bunch this year, especially on premium live events. Just lost so much. So, and this is the type of story that where the good guy should win to get his revenge over on the bad guy, right? But man, Seth needs to win too. He wants to try to throw himself into the mix for the championship. So, I don't know. I'm going to say Matt Riddle, but boy, I'm not confident in this pick. I really ain't. Because Seth Rollins could easily win as well. So I'm going to say Matt Riddle, who, by the way, has his first name back. Matt Riddle is the winner in this match. Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka take on Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky in a 6-woman tag match. Dakota and Io lost on Monday to the team of Aaliyah and Raquel Gonzalez for the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and so that's good. I kind of see this as the I kind of see this as the international incident from 1996, where it was Sean, it was Ahmed, and it was Psycho Sid, and they took on Kemp Cornette with Vader, Owen, and the British Bulldog. You know, so I think um, I think that's what's gonna happen here in that match. Vader pinned Michaels, the champ, went to win the champ, not to win the championship, but he pinned Michaels, who was the WWE champion at the time, and that was able to give him the match at SummerSlam '96 for the WWE Championship. And I think that's what you're gonna do here. Bayley's gonna beat Bianca Belair for the team of her, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, and that's gonna lead to the next pay-per-view event, whichever that is. It's October, so it's extreme. I think it's Extreme Rules, right? I think that's the next one. So it's gonna be Extreme Rules, and then it's gonna be her and Bianca Belair at Extreme Rules for the Raw Women's Championship. Sorry about that. So I have the winners being Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. SmackDown Women's Championship. Liv Morgan takes on Shayna Baszler. You know, I said in my previous That's a Shoot video came out yesterday. I said, you know, one of the things, I had like 5 things I wanted the new management to do in WWE. And one of the things, the last one I said was that don't become AEW. Don't do what AEW does. And I can't help but to wonder if Liv Morgan is kind of like that. When Liv Morgan is over with the fans, Liv Morgan's, you know, this, Liv Morgan's that. But really, is Liv Morgan really championship material? Really, is she at this point in time? Is she? People want to say that it was the WWE booking to, that caused the fans to turn on her in South Carolina. But really, is it the booking, or is it just the fact that she's not believable? She's not a great promo. She really isn't. She's not a great promo. She's adequate in the ring, not great or anything like that. And she is, there's just really anything at this point in the moment that is saying to me championship material. Shayna Baszler should win this. She should win this without question. They've already done the thing where she cast it on Ronda, who was limping, so that's feasible. She had a kind of she turned over the armbar while Ronda Rousey was on the mat to get pinned while she tapped out. So again, this thing she beat Ronda, but there was some controversy to that. Shayna Baszler is just a straight up killer. Straight killer. Isn't that? Shouldn't this be like what this is? Yes, Liv Morgan, you give a valiant effort, but there is no stipulation that can help you out. There's like no tables, there's no ladders, there are no chairs, there is no street fight, no falls count anywhere match, nothing. It's just a straight up wrestling match. And now you're gonna be able, and you're not that adequate of a wrestler to out wrestle Shayna Baszler. So Shayna Baszler should win this. But I'm gonna say Liv Morgan because I just think that this is one of those things that they're gonna do. The fans want to see Liv Morgan as champion, so we have to give the fans what they want. You have to give her a pretty interesting title reign. I don't think you need to do that. You really don't. So we'll see. Maybe Triple H will do the right thing and put the title on Shayna Baszler. But this is, yeah. I also think that this is gonna be one of those things that we're going to see, look back on and say this really probably was the wrong idea. Now I know Ronda said to put it on Liv Morgan, but uh, sometimes you just gotta continue to do what you think is right for the business and not what the fans want. Because what the fans want may not be what's best for business and what's best for them in the long run. So that being said, I'm going to say Liv Morgan wins. And for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, the 733-day reign from Roman Reigns, 2 years, versus Drew McIntyre. There's a lot of scuttlebutt around this. There's been so many reports that, well, Raw's kind of upset that Roman Reigns doesn't appear on it very often, and they want a championship champion to appear on it every week, and things like that. And then there's Roman Reigns doesn't appear on SmackDown on every week, and then we got some garbage about they want to stir up the titles again. I hope fucking not. And then there's all these other things about Drew McIntyre, things like that. And there's all these other reports. I read a report earlier today that Bray Wyatt is going to make an appearance after the match. So does that mean that Roman Reigns wins and Bray Wyatt's going to go after the match? And then there's Karrion Kross in it, and what does he have to do? And then there's Sami Zayn. What is he going to do? Is he going to once again step in front of a Claymore for Roman Reigns so you can get the win? I don't know. I really don't know. There might be, and I will admit this. There might be a part of me. Because Roman Reigns is my guy, and he has been my guy all the time. And there's a part of me that wants him to get to 1,000 days because I think that would be great. It's a whole nother company, and it's way less of a company than WWE, is. But in the NWA, Nick Aldis had over 1,000-day reign before he lost it to Trevor Murdoch sometime last year, I think. So he had held the NWA Championship for 1,000 days, and plus. And I would like to see Roman Reigns do that. His last person to hold the title for 1,000 days was Hulk Hogan. He held it for 1,000 days, and I think that would be cool. I really do. I think that would be cool that he held the title for 1,000 days. Now, I've I believe my calculations are correct. I've calculated that the 1,000 day of Roman Reigns' reign would be on a Monday, May 29th, 2023, Memorial Day. And I think once you get to that, I think you can do one or two things. You can either one, book the Garden for that night. Book a title match on Monday Night Raw between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, and Roman Reigns can drop it then to Cody. Because that's another thing that you know that I don't like the fact that listen, Drew's a made man. He's a star. He's already that and something like that. But to me, the person who needs to beat Roman Reigns is someone who maybe isn't on that star level yet, or someone who can be made by Roman Reigns, like a Austin Theory, a Braun Breaker, someone like that. Now Cody Rhodes is a different setting because I think Cody Rhodes even he's a star, he's a superstar and everything like that. But I also think there's that bit of him coming back, and being in AEW, doing everything like that, doing that stupid thing where he was not going to be AEW champion since he lost to Chris Jericho. And now here you are, and then you can do this, and he's come back, and he came back because of his father, and he had that promo on Monday Night Raw, which is great. He talked about the history, and him wanting to bring that WWE Championship into the Rhodes family. Love that. I love that, and it would be so good. It's the perfect story for that to happen. And I think Roman Reigns is the perfect guy to do it. And even though I said that date, you don't have to even do it on that date. You can do it on the next pay-per-view after that. It would probably be in June. It would probably be either Hell in a Cell or Extreme Rules or something like that. Maybe even Money in the Bank. Who knows? But it would be there. So why not just go ahead and do it, right? Yeah, go ahead and just have Roman Reigns hold it up. He can have all the matches he wants to. There's so many other guys he can wrestle. He's not wrestled AJ Styles. They haven't wrestled in over 2 years, I believe. He can. Just Seth Rollins kept talking about. He can do Seth Rollins. He can do, you know, um, they've been doing Ricochet. They can do Ricochet. There's a lot of things that they can do. Roman Reigns can do. If and of course we also got the Rumble WrestleMania match of The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and even though that doesn't need the title, the title can enhance it just as well. So this is more of my heart than my head, but even my head is saying Roman. This makes sense for Roman to win. But this is definitely going with my heart, because my heart is always going to be with Roman, the tribal chief, the head of the table, your undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world. We the ones picking Roman Reigns. Okay, so to can't speak. So to recap, on NXT Worlds Collide this Sunday, the Creed brothers will become the new unified NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter will defeat Nikki Ash and Doudrop for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Carmelo Hayes will defeat Ricochet for the North American Championship. Michael Satomura will become the new NXT Women's Champion, and Braun Breaker will become the unified undisputed NXT Champion. And tomorrow afternoon in Cardiff, the Judgment Day will take on, will beat Edge and Rey Mysterio. Gunther will retain the Intercontinental title over Sheamus. Matt Riddle will beat Seth Rollins. Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky will defeat Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. Liv Morgan will retain against Shayna Baszler. And hopefully Roman Reigns will retain over Drew McIntyre. So there you have it. My picks for NXT Worlds Collide and WWE Clash at the Castle. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. If you guys like what you see, then maybe you will want to support your boy. And you can do that by joining Patreon. Patreon.com/AJTRIP. Become a patron. Once I hit a certain amount of patrons, you will be able to determine what you see here on my YouTube channel, what you hear me talk about on my podcast, The Word According to Me. Links are in the description box down below. Find which platform you listen to, and you can find it there. And what video games you want me to play on Twitch. And that, I also, for that, like, I have to have that game. I have to have that game you want to see me play. And so, that's that. Yeah, can't do that. So, yeah, do that if you just want to support me. Or if you just want to leave a comment and give me your predictions, that's fine as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.